when you learn the truth about who actually raised Meghan Markle and how much her father actually got her to where she's at, it's even more deplorable when you see Meghan and her fans continue to kick down her father and treat him like some clout chaser. And we all know who the real clout chaser is. Welcome to Popcorn Palace. I am Andy Signor, and Meghan Markle's father, Thomas, is speaking out again weeks from his 80th birthday. A forlorn Thomas Markle sees no hope of reconciliation with his daughter. Now, many of his critics are going to say, well, yeah, it's because you keep posting these articles, but what else is he supposed to do? I mean, this guy got pushed out of the royal family for sharing details when his daughter ghosted him at a wedding when he was totally taken advantage of by photographers. This has been proven. Look, maybe he did some stuff and that he got some access, but people don't remember he had no income. People were swarming him like crazy. He had no idea what to do, no sort of protocol what to follow. And the way Meghan tells the story is just not a fair one. And all of her supporters are going to say it's the way it is when you actually speak to Thomas and the family and you look at it. You look at the lawsuit that's out there that he's winning that proved the photographer was out there taking advantage of him. There's so much more to this story than Meghan and her fans want to allow. And at the end of the day, yeah, I don't know what else Thomas is supposed to do. I would be upset as well. Meghan has just vilified him when the reality is he was a loving father for her throughout her whole life. Meanwhile, Doria wasn't even around. She left. She split out of town. And many of us truly believe, and no one's been able to prove it yet, but many of us speculate that once she was in with the royal family, they were able to cover up documentation, potential imprisonment records, things that show Doria's past, which, to be fair to the Markles, they have never come forward and had tried to expose. And good on them, but it doesn't mean it didn't happen. So I bring all this to a forefront because, yes, Thomas Markle's out there speaking again, and he's making some comments about Meghan. Never expected to make it to 80 because Markle men never do. My father died at 61. I've had a good life. I'm proud of what I've accomplished, but everything has been overshadowed by what's happened in the last 6 years. I've never been one for birthdays, but now I know the one person I most want to hear from, Meghan, won't be in touch. I would love to meet my grandchildren, but I'd be happy with a photograph at this stage. Mr. Markle became estranged from his youngest daughter, Meghan, in 2018 when he was unable to walk her down the aisle for her marriage to Prince Harry after he suffered 2 heart attacks on the eve of their wedding. Couple have not spoken since. Just put that in perspective again. Literally in the hospital from heart attacks. And Meghan's out there accusing him of selling all this stuff, whether he did or not. It's still her father, who they had a very good relationship. Okay, let's humor it for a second. And I'm not even saying he did this. So he got swindled in with some photographer to try to make some money during that point. Okay, that doesn't mean anything to me. The letters, everything that's come forward since, were all in reaction to Meghan completely disowning him, which she's now destroyed her siblings, her father on a global scale. It's sickening to me because she couldn't trust him. Dude, none of us can trust you. We have no idea who you are anymore, Meghan Markle. You just bagged a prince, and now your mom has played nice because she knows better, because she's probably got a lot of skeletons in her closet, but she stayed close, figured out what the grift was, shut up, and now she's the better one. I just don't get it. A tale of two parents. Meghan Markle puts it in real good perspective. Thomas Markle, a father who moved heaven and earth for his daughter, only to get dumped and have his name dragged through the mud. Those are facts. Doria Ragland, a woman who bankrupt morals, who abandoned her daughter, had nothing to do with her upbringing, only to pop up when Meghan landed an emotionally stunted prince. Also facts. Meghan and Doria, 2 classless leeches who contribute 0 to society but demand to live off other people's dime. Have you ever wondered why Doria's family doesn't even talk to Doria? It's a good question. But then you got the other side of the coin. The man who sold photos and letters of his daughter for money. He sold his daughter's privacy for money. For money. F him! There's so much more to the story than that. And it's just so frustrating that that's how it's being painted. Look, the truth is it's not helpful to put out these articles. It's not. But at the same time, I can't be mad at the guy who now has lost all relationship to his daughter, has never seen his grandchildren, not even met their father. When I reflect back on my life, as you do when you approach 80, that's one of the questions I cannot find an answer for. Why didn't Harry ever come to meet me? He has the resources to fly around the world and does, but why didn't he come to see me? Particularly when people in the royal household, like Jason Knuff, Harry and Meghan's former communications secretary, were urging him to do so. It's never made sense to me. What man gets married without meeting his wife's father? As he speaks, the effects of a serious stroke he suffered 2 years ago, they are apparent. At times, he struggles to find words or stumbles over sentences. He endures the aches and pains of old age, including a bad knee and bad back, and is frustrated when he cannot remember names and places. Mr. Markle feels deep empathy for King Charles, who is in the same boat as far as not seeing his grandchildren is concerned. I would love to speak to him because I am sure he has as many unanswered questions as I do. Neither of us deserve the treatment we've received. He's going through a cancer treatment and I'm not in the best of health. I'm not afraid of dying. It is what it is. I have so many questions I'd like to ask Meghan and Harry. The main one being, why have they treated not only me, but the royal family and the king so badly? Millions around the globe, Mr. Markle saw stunning images from the last weekend's Troop in the Color with Catherine, but it was the sight of William and Catherine's 3 children, George, Charlotte, Louis, that particularly moved him. Mr. Markle said, it struck me as very sad that Meghan and Harry's kids are being denied the right to know their cousins who look like fantastic children. The relationship between cousins is a special one. There's a unique bond. Facts. I feel sad that Little Bit and Archie don't have the chance to get to know their cousins and take part in things like Troop in the Color, which is their birthright. They're getting to the age where they will start asking questions, as all kids do. At some point, it's inevitable that they will ask their parents why they have cut them off from both sides of the family. They have 2 grandpas who want to see them, one of which is the King of England. Never in my 80 years thought I'd be in the same boat as the king. The decisions Meghan and Harry have made will affect their kids for the rest of their lives. I find myself wondering how Archie and Little Bit will feel in a few years' time when they realize all the things that they've missed out on. Emmy Award-winning director of lighting, director Markle's long life has taken him from small-town Pennsylvania to the bright lights of Hollywood. We know his history. We've talked about it. They divorced together. Rosalind, the mother of his oldest children, decided he tries luck in Hollywood. He initially worked in a motel. Anyway, all of this experience helped Meghan become who she was. That whole story about writing the letter, about the commercial, it was her dad who did it. It was her dad who sort of faked it all for her. So much was given to her by her father. And again, all now, the father is completely defamed, disowned, ridiculed, become the villain because he got stuck up with tricked by a paparazzi journalist who was using him. And again, what did he know? Did he know better? I don't think he did. And as I've talked to his siblings, it's just, I feel for them more and more. There's clearly emotions involved. There's clearly anger. There are clearly things they probably shouldn't have done. I'm not going to say they're perfect either, but my God, I'm on their side wholeheartedly. How do you just completely disown your family like that? And he's right. And thank God he's putting this out there before he passes, because I truly believe Meghan just wants him to pass on, all for the better for it. His kids won't know better. That she'll be able to paint it however she wants. But this poor man, suffering from a stroke and all these other conditions, is still the villain? How could you do that to your father who was nothing but good for you? And again, I try to look at it from all sides. Okay, so we sold some photos early on, accidentally, whatever. That's not a reason to completely disown him. It's not. And then later on, he sold the letter. He's da-da-da-da-da. That letter was a whole PR play in Meghan's fact too. More reason to victimize herself, make him the villain. There is so much more to this story that she's denying you. And I am not going to stand for it. I have Thomas Markle's back. I have Thomas Markle Jr.'s back. I have Samantha Markle's back. This family got completely railroaded by Meghan because she was ashamed of them. She wanted nothing to do with her white, crazy family. And I really believe she's positioned herself in a new narrative and she can't afford to have them come out of the woodwork to actually tell the truth about what happened when Meghan was a kid and how Thomas was actually there for her. Shameful for what you've done to him. So what if he wanted to make a few bucks? And I don't even know if I'm correct. Maybe he didn't. I need to learn even more about it. From what I've gathered, yeah, there's a lawsuit that proved he was duped. But even if he wasn't and he was in the beginning trying to do a few bucks, so what? Dude had paparazzi hounding him and his family, and they had no idea what to do. And you weren't there trying to help him. You were off jet and set with the prince, not thinking about how it would affect everybody in your family. Now, meanwhile, you've had Harry turn on his family too. And you think it's Thomas is the problem? I love how Meghan's fans just ignore the fact that she's disowned both families. Families are dysfunctional. Families make mistakes. Families fight. You don't disown them and go off like this because of sold photos and it's absurd. Meghan, you're in the wrong, and we will continue to give people like Thomas a voice because you are not going to rewrite history. They are not going to be silenced. What do you guys think? Do you agree? I want to hear your thoughts down below. Do you feel for Thomas? Hit that subscribe, hit that bell for alerts, smash that like button, and leave your comments down below. We're so close to 100K. Get us to 100,000 subscribers. We got so much more coming for you here on Popcorn Palace, so stay tuned.